So, picture this. It's a regular afternoon in a cozy little house, the kind with a big kitchen that smells like sugar and butter. Megan Howard's in there, humming to herself, pulling a fresh pie out of the oven. It's one of those perfect pies, golden crust, steam curling up, the works. She sets it on the table to cool, figuring she's got a minute to slip off to the bathroom. 2-year-old Hannah Quask is toddling around somewhere nearby, probably giggling at her own shadow like kids do. And then there's Willie, Megan's parrot, perched on his little stand in the corner, eyeballing that pie like it's the treasure of a lifetime. Everything's calm, quiet, normal, but not for long. Megan's barely out of the room when things start to go sideways. She's washing her hands, minding her own business, when this wild racket explodes from the kitchen. It's Willie, squawking his head off like he's auditioning for a horror movie. "Mommy, baby, mommy, baby," he's yelling, over and over, his scratchy little voice bouncing off the walls. At first, Megan freezes. Parrots don't just scream like that for no reason, right? Her heart does a little flip, and she bolts out of the bathroom, soap suds still dripping from her hands. She rounds the corner into the kitchen, and oh man, it's chaos. There's the pie, sitting on the table, but it's not pretty anymore. Someone's taken a big, messy chomp out of it. Crumbs are everywhere, like a tiny tornado hit. And then she sees her, little Hannah, standing there with those big toddler eyes, her face turning this awful shade of blue. The kid's choking, her tiny hands flapping, her lips trembling like she's trying to cry but can't get the air. Pie stuck in her throat, and she's fading fast. Megan's brain kicks into overdrive. She's the nanny. She's supposed to keep this kid safe, and now the whole world's crashing down in the span of, what, 2 minutes? She doesn't even think, she just reacts. She scoops Hannah up, flips her around, and starts doing the Heimlich like she's practiced it a million times. Her arms are shaking, her voice is cracking as she mutters, "Come on, kid, come on." And Willie's still going nuts in the background, flapping his wings like he's cheering her on. 1 push, 2 pushes, nothing's happening, and Megan's stomach twists tighter. Hannah's so small, so fragile, and every second feels like an hour. Then, on the 3rd try, it works. This soggy, half-chewed chunk of pie shoots out of Hannah's mouth and lands with a wet plop on the floor. The kid gasps, sucking in this huge, ragged breath, and then she's crying. Loud, messy, beautiful crying. Megan sinks to her knees, clutching Hannah to her chest, her own breath coming in shaky bursts. She's laughing and crying at the same time. Pie crumbs stuck to her shirt, and Willie finally shuts up, tilting his head like, "Yeah, I did that." The kitchen's a wreck, the pie's ruined, Hannah's a mess, and Megan's pretty sure she's aged 10 years in 10 seconds. But the kid's alive. Alive because of a screaming parrot and a nanny who didn't freeze when it mattered. And that's just the start of this wild ride, because Willie? He's about to become a hero in a way nobody saw coming. So, there they are, Megan and Hannah, sprawled on the kitchen floor, surrounded by pie crumbs and chaos. Hannah's still sniffling, her little chest heaving, her face all red and splotchy from crying. Megan's sitting there, heart pounding like she just ran a marathon, trying to wrap her head around what just happened. The pie's a goner, half of it smashed, the other half's got toddler fingerprints all over it. And Willie? That crazy parrot's just chilling on his perch now, preening his feathers like he didn't just save the day. Megan looks at him, still catching her breath, and mutters, "You little weirdo. What was that?" She's half expecting Willie to answer. He's already proved he's got a mouth on him. But he just squawks once and goes back to picking at his wing. Megan shakes her head, scoops Hannah up, and starts checking her over. The kid's okay, thank God. Blue lips are gone, breathing's back to normal, and she's even starting to babble again, pointing at the pie like she's ready for round 2. "No way, kiddo," Megan says, laughing despite herself. "You're done with that." But here's the thing. Megan can't shake what just went down. She's been Hannah's nanny for months, and she's known Willie even longer. He's always been chatty, sure, parrots are like that. He picks up words, mimics stuff he hears around the house. "Hello, good boy, pizza time," that kind of thing. But mommy, baby, screaming it like his life depended on it, that's not normal. That's not just some random trick. That bird knew something was wrong, and he made sure Megan knew it too. She grabs her phone, still shaky, and calls Hannah's mom. "Hey, everything's fine now, but we had a little scare," she says, trying to sound calm. She spills the whole story. The pie, the choking, the parrot freaking out. And Hannah's mom is losing it on the other end. Oh my God, is she okay? I'm coming home right now. Megan's like, she's fine. I promise. Just maybe no more pies for a while. They laugh, but it's that nervous kind of laugh, you know? The kind where you're still processing how close things got to going really, really bad. By the time Hannah's mom gets home, the kitchen's cleaned up. Well, mostly. There's still some pie goo stuck to the table, and Willie's dropped a feather or two in the mess. Hannah's parked in front of the TV, munching on crackers instead of pie this time, and Megan's filling in all the details. I swear, if Willie hadn't started yelling, I wouldn't have known, she says. Hannah's mom kneels down, gives her kid a big hug, then looks over at Willie. You're a hero, you goofy bird, she says, and Willie just tilts his head, like he's saying, yeah, I know. Word starts spreading fast. Neighbors pop by to check on Hannah, and Megan's telling the story over and over. How she ran in, how she did the Heimlich, how Willie was the real MVP. People are laughing, gasping, shaking their heads. A parrot? Seriously? One guy says, and Megan's like, dude, I wouldn't believe it either if I hadn't seen it. Pretty soon, the whole neighborhood's buzzing about the kid, the pie, and the bird who wouldn't shut up. And that's when someone, maybe a nosy neighbor, maybe Hannah's mom, decides this is too good to keep quiet. They pick up the phone and call the local Red Cross. You guys gotta hear this, they say. This parrot's a legit lifesaver. Megan's just trying to get through the day, but she's got no idea what's coming next. Willie's about to go from kitchen troublemaker to full-on celebrity, and it's gonna get wild. Okay, so a couple days go by, and things are finally calming down at the house. Hannah's back to her usual self, running around, giggling, asking for snacks every 5 minutes. Megan's still a little jumpy, though. Every time she walks past the kitchen table, she half expects to see another pie disaster waiting to happen. And Willie? He's acting like nothing even went down, squawking for treats, flapping around, just being his normal, loud self. But the neighborhood? Oh, they're not letting this go. People keep stopping by, poking their heads over the fence, asking, hey, how's that hero parrot doing? Megan's starting to think she should charge admission. Then, out of nowhere, the phone rings. It's some lady from the local Red Cross, all chipper and official sounding. Hi, is this Megan Howard? We heard about what happened with the little girl and the parrot. Crazy story. We'd love to do something special for Willie. Megan's standing there, holding the phone, blinking like, what? She's thinking maybe they'll send a thank you note or something, but nope. This lady's talking about an award. Like, a legit ceremony. For a bird. Megan's like, you serious? He's a parrot, not a firefighter. But the lady just laughs and says, trust me, we've never seen anything like this either. Next thing you know, it's a done deal. The Red Cross sets a date, and suddenly Megan's roped into planning this whole thing. Hannah's mom is all in too. She's calling it Willie's big moment, and joking about getting him a tiny tuxedo. Megan's not sure how she feels about it. Part of her thinks it's nuts, awarding a parrot like he's some kind of first responder. But then she remembers those blue lips, that awful silence before Hannah coughed up the pie, and Willie's voice cutting through it all. Yeah, okay, maybe the bird deserves a little props. The day of the ceremony rolls around, and it's at this little community center downtown. They've got a table set up with a red tablecloth, a microphone, and, of course, a big bowl of crackers for Willie. Megan's there with Hannah on her hip, and Willie's perched in his travel cage, eyeballing the crowd like he's sizing them up. People are filing in, neighbors, a couple local news crews with cameras, even some Red Cross folks in their fancy vests. It's not a huge turnout, but it's enough to make Megan feel like she's in some weird alternate reality. The Red Cross lady steps up to the mic, all smiles, and starts talking. We're here today to honor an unusual hero, she says, and the room chuckles. Willie the parrot didn't just save a life. He showed us that courage can come from the most unexpected places. Megan's standing there, nodding along, while Hannah claps her hands and yells, Willie, loud enough to make everyone laugh again. Then they bring out the award, a little plaque with Willie's name on it, plus a certificate saying he's an honorary lifesaver. It's cheesy, sure, but Megan's gotta admit, it's kind of cool. They call her up to accept it for Willie, and she's feeling awkward as hell walking across the room with all those eyes on her. She grabs the plaque, mutters a quick, thanks, he's real proud, I'm sure, and holds it up. The crowd claps, the cameras flash, and Willie picks that exact moment to let out this ear-splitting mommy, baby screech. People lose it, laughing, cheering, clapping even louder. Megan's grinning despite herself, thinking, you little show-off. But here's where it gets wild. The news crews don't just pack up and leave. One of them, a guy with a mic and a big grin, pulls Megan aside after. This is gold, he says. Parrot saves kid. People are gonna eat this up. Mind if we do a quick interview? Megan's like, sure, I guess. She's got no clue that this little ceremony's about to blow up way bigger than she ever imagined. So, the Red Cross thing's barely over, and Megan's thinking she can finally chill out. She's got the plaque tucked under her arm, Hannah's tugging at her sleeve asking for juice, and Willie's back in his cage, munching on a cracker like he's some kind of king. The crowd's thinning out. People are patting her on the back, saying stuff like, that bird's unreal, and she's just nodding, ready to head home and call it a day. But that news guy, the one with the mic and the big grin, he's not done with her yet. He corners her by the snack table, camera guy in tow, and starts firing off questions. So, Megan, tell us, how'd it feel hearing Willie scream like that? Did you train him to do it? What's it like having a hero parrot? She's stumbling through answers, feeling like a deer in headlights. It was crazy, you know? No, I didn't train him. He just did it. And, he's still a pain in the butt half the time. The guy's eating it up, laughing, nodding, while the camera rolls. She figures it'll be some little local news blip, 5 minutes of fame, then back to normal life. Yeah, not even close. That night, the story airs on the 6 o'clock news, complete with shaky footage of Willie squawking at the ceremony and a clip of Megan looking flustered but kinda proud. By morning, it's everywhere. Someone posts it online, and boom, it goes viral. People are sharing it like crazy, adding captions like, Parrot saves Toddler, and this bird's a legend. Megan's phone starts blowing up, friends texting, dude, you're famous, and random numbers asking for interviews. She's staring at the screen, muttering, what the hell is happening? Hannah's mom calls, practically screaming. Megan, it's on the radio now. They're calling Willie the pie parrot. Megan's like, the what now? But sure enough, she flips on the car radio later and hears a DJ cackling about it. Folks, you can't make this up. A parrot named Willie saved a kid from choking on pie. We need this bird on the show. Megan's laughing, shaking her head, but part of her's freaking out. This is getting way bigger than a plaque and some crackers. Next thing she knows, bigger news outlets are sniffing around. A producer from one of those morning talk shows, the kind where they sip coffee and fake laugh at everything, emails her. We'd love to have you and Willie on. Bring the little girl too if you can. Megan's sitting there, reading it over breakfast, thinking, no way. This is nuts. But Hannah's mom is all for it. Come on, it'll be fun. Willie deserves the spotlight. Megan's not so sure. She's picturing Willie flapping around a studio, pooping on some fancy couch, and her trying to explain it live on TV. She says yes anyway, mostly because she's too tired to argue. A couple days later, they're on a plane. Her, Hannah's mom, and Willie in his travel cage, squawking the whole way. The studio's this bright, chaotic place with lights and wires everywhere. The hosts are way too perky, shaking her hand, cooing over Hannah, and eyeing Willie like he's some exotic celebrity. So, Megan, one of them says, all teeth and hairspray. Tell us how this feathered friend saved the day. Megan's nervous as hell, but she starts talking, pie, choking, Heimlich, the works. The audience claps, Willie yells, mommy, baby, right on cue, and they lose their minds. It's a hit. Clips of that show start popping up online too, and suddenly Willie's got fan art. People drawing him with a little cape, calling him Super Parrot. Megan's scrolling through it all, half amazed, half horrified. She's just a nanny, not some media star, and now she's got strangers sending her messages like, can Willie come to my kid's birthday? She's muttering to herself, this bird's gonna be the death of me, but deep down, she's kinda proud. Willie's a goofball, sure, but he's her goofball, and now the whole country knows it. So, Megan's life's officially a circus now. She's back home after the talk show madness, thinking maybe, just maybe, things will settle down. Nope. The mailbox is stuffed with letters, half of them addressed to Willie the pie parrot, and her phone's still buzzing with notifications. People are nuts about this bird. There's a petition online to get him a star on some random pet walk of fame. And a local bakery even drops off a bird-safe pie with "Thanks, Willie" written in icing. Megan's standing there, staring at it, like, okay, this is my life now, I guess. Hannah's loving it, though. She's toddling around, chanting "Willie, Willie" every chance she gets, and her mom's framing the Red Cross plaque like it's a family heirloom. They've got the talk show clip saved on DVR, replaying it whenever someone comes over. "Look at him go," Hannah's mom says, pointing at the screen as Willie squawks on cue. Megan's just nodding, sipping her coffee, wondering how she went from changing diapers to managing a Parrot's fan club. Willie, of course, doesn't care about any of it. He's back to his old tricks, stealing crackers, yelling random words, and flapping around like he owns the place. But every now and then, Megan catches him looking at her with those beady little eyes, and she swears he knows he's a big deal. She'll toss him a treat and say, "You're still a punk, you know that?" He just squawks back, like, "Yeah, but I'm your punk." The hype doesn't die down as fast as she hopes. A kid's book author reaches out, wanting to write Willie the Hero Parrot, a whole story based on the pie incident. They offer Megan a cut of the profits, and she's like, sure, why not? It hits shelves a few months later, with this cute cartoon Willie on the cover, and Hannah's obsessed. She makes Megan read it to her every night. The book's a hit, and suddenly there's talk of a toy line. Megan's shaking her head, muttering, "A Willie action figure? Seriously?" But she's secretly stoked. Then there's the Red Cross again. They call up, saying they want to use Willie in a safety campaign. Posters, videos, the whole deal. Teach kids about choking hazards, they say. He's the perfect mascot. Megan's on board, mostly because it feels right. Willie saved Hannah, so why not let him help other kids? They shoot a little PSA, with Megan holding Willie while he screeches, "Mommy, baby," and a voiceover explains the Heimlich. It's cheesy, but it works. Schools start showing it, and parents are thanking her at the grocery store. Years go by, and the craziness finally fades a bit. Hannah's older now, starting school, telling everyone her nanny's parrot is famous. Megan's still around, still keeping an eye on things, though she's got a side gig training people in first aid. Turns out she's pretty good at it. Willie's getting up there in parrot years, his feathers a little scruffier, his voice a little raspier, but he's still kicking. The book's still on shelves, the PSA still pops up sometimes, and every once in a while, someone recognizes Megan and asks, "Hey, aren't you the parrot lady?" She'll laugh and say, "Yeah, that's me." But the real moment, the one that sticks with her, isn't the cameras or the awards. It's that day in the kitchen, Hannah's blue lips, Willie's screams, and the way it all turned out okay. She'll sit there sometimes, watching Willie peck at his food, and think, "You little monster. You changed everything." And he did. From a pie-stealing nuisance to a legit legend. Willie's story's one for the books, literally. Megan's just glad she was there to see it, and that Hannah's still around to tell it. Life's weird like that, huh?